Okay, let's start by taking a look inside of Birdview PSA. So I've logged in as myself into the Birdview system, and I'm looking at one of the Birdview example projects. In this case, the event project, the event conference. And so let's take a look. We'll take a look at the develop marketing plan. In this case, I've changed the assignment to go to Will Salah, and 0 of 30 hours has been spent. Great. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to TimeControl. We're going to load this project in TimeControl, do some hours, and send them back. Okay, we're logged into TimeControl now as Joe Gardner, who's an administrator. And Joe's going to want to update TimeControl with any information that was in Birdview. We might typically do that automatically on a schedule overnight, but in this case, we'll do it on demand. TimeControl has already been linked to Birdview using the Birdview API, and now it will make contact with Birdview and bring in any information on any new tasks and any changes. We can see that that's already been updated, which is great. So now as an administrator, Joe can alternately log in as someone else when he has permission to do that. In this case, he's going to log in as Will Salah. So you can see he's actually Joseph Gardner, so we're tracking the auditing in the background. But here we're going to have Will add a new timesheet, and we're going to add one for the month of December. And how about that second week in December looks good. We'll preload Will's assignments. And sure enough, here's the assignments that came straight out of Birdview. Now we were looking at the marketing plan, this one right here. So let's update some information on that. We'll say that Will spent 3 days working on the target audience and then 2 days working on the marketing plan. You may remember we had 0 hours in the marketing plan up to date here. And now we'll release this information. This will go for approval to Joe Gardner. And we don't need to do any checking on that. So we can send that right along the way that it is. And TimeControl is now in the control of Joe Gardner. So we'll have Joe now get ready to send that information back to Birdview after he's completed approving it and posting it. Okay, still in TimeControl now as Joe Gardner. Joe's going to want to send this information that we just entered and released and approved back to Birdview. So very much like we brought the data in. Again, this could be done on a schedule, but we're going to do it on demand with Joe as our admin, and send that information back to Birdview. And we can see in the Birdview link that the information we expected went back to the marketing plan. Let's close that out and let's go back to Birdview to see if our information is there. Okay, back in Birdview now. Let's go back to where we started, develop the marketing plan. You may remember it was 0 hours when we started, and now we can see there's 16 hours of 30 spent. Those are the 16 hours that Will just put into his TimeControl timesheet, and we can check that by going back to the time logs history. Sure enough, on the 11th and 12th, the Thursday and Friday, Will spent 2 hours on each of those days putting time in. And that is how we get that information from TimeControl back to Birdview, and we see it in the different tasks where we've updated that information. Now, doing that in TimeControl allows us to use TimeControl not only for updating Birdview and the project management progress, but also for all kinds of other purposes. If we're using Birdview for billing, then the internal Birdview rates for billing can be tied to those hours that Will just did, and you'll get your billing rates and be able to do your invoicing and whatever you need in Birdview. However, if you're also using TimeControl for payroll, for HR, for job costing, for things like R&D tax credits where you need auditable records, then all of those other kinds of views are available from the source information in TimeControl. It gives the best of both worlds. So that's our link from Birdview to TimeControl, back to Birdview.